You know, we all want to do our part to live more energy efficiently in our homes. Well, the good news is there's a lot of simple things you can do to reduce your carbon footprint and your energy bill. On this episode, we're going to show you some simple steps you can take, from switching out your incandescent light bulbs to CFLs, upgrading to Energy Star appliances, or if you can spring it, going solar. Take a look.
Energy efficiency is all about the little things. When heating and cooling your house, you can save a bundle by installing a programmable thermostat, which you can buy at any hardware store. And instead of letting energy vampires like your TV rack up your power bill, connect them to a power strip that you can turn off with just one switch. If you use your computer most of the day, choose an energy-saving setting that will automatically hibernate if you step away for 5, 10, or even 15 minutes. And by swapping out your incandescent light bulbs for complex fluorescents, also known as CFLs, you can reduce your energy use by 70% and save up to $50 per bulb over their 7 to 12-year lifespan.
Surprisingly, millions of Americans still haven't made the switch. To raise awareness about the benefits of CFLs, we headed to San Francisco to partner with Bill McKibben's Step It Up campaign and a Center for Biological Diversity to pass out energy-efficient light bulbs to residents of Noe Valley. But first, they prepped us on one of the most common objections to CFLs, mercury. Now, despite big oil propaganda, CFLs actually contain 3 times less mercury than the amount emitted into the atmosphere by powering regular incandescent bulbs. And they're perfectly safe. They just need to be properly recycled when they finally do burn out. After our briefing, we hopped on the metro to hit the streets and visit as many residents as possible. Once they understood how much money and energy they could save, it was an easy sell. And getting a free bulb from the local utility company didn't hurt either. And to find out how homeowners on the East Coast are saving energy, our next stop was New York City, in the heart of Harlem's historic Sugar Hill. Homeowner Jeremy Archer rehabbed this beautiful brownstone and transformed it into the Sugar Hill Harlem Inn, an eco-friendly bed and breakfast celebrating the Harlem Renaissance, with memorabilia and guest rooms dedicated to talented greats like Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Josephine Baker, Miles Davis, and Lena Horne. Jeremy prides himself on running a conscious business, which includes using earth-friendly cleaning products, composting waste from their tasty organic breakfasts, and supporting members and businesses in the local community. But he's most proud of being the only bed and breakfast in New York City that runs on renewable energy. Last year, Jeremy installed photovoltaic solar panels on his roof. And even though his building sits in the middle of the city, it gets plenty of sunshine, which saves him a bundle on his power bills and gives his guests one more thing to smile about.
Last, we headed to one of the sunniest places in the country, Sedona, Arizona, to check out a custom-built, energy-efficient home. This dream home, owned by John Neville and John McKinley, is green from the inside out. On this house, solar panels were just the tip of the iceberg. Bianca caught up with John, a LEED accredited green building consultant, for an in-depth tour.
Well, you start with the house and the siding of the house. The first thing we did was site the house to the south so that we could get passive solar gain in that.
Oh, interesting.
And then the other thing we did was we put overhangs over all the south-facing windows to keep the direct sun out of the house during the summertime. Then we made the walls out of an insulating material that was it's recycled materials, junk left over from construction sites.
Cool.
But it has a lot of insulation value. So when we get an ambient temperature inside the home, it stays that temperature. And the great thing here in the summertime is it gets cool at night. So we cool the house down, close the house up during the day like you would if you were air conditioning it anyway.
Sure.
But the house holds the cool temperature all day long
Because of the way it's built.
because of the way it's built. We have solar panels that run and heat our house. We have no air conditioner here. And even when it's 106 outside, it's only maybe 76 inside.
That's something, no AC in Arizona.
Right.
That's kind of a huge feat in and
It
of
is.
itself.
And that saves us a bundle. Our neighbors up the hill from us pay about $400 a month to cool their house, and we pay Nothing.
Wow. What's in the floors?
It's a radiant heat floor.
Okay, and what does that mean, radiant heat?
Well, it means that we take hot water that we heat with our solar panels, and we run that hot water through the floors, and it radiates the heat up through the floors. And it's a more
Interesting.
comfortable kind of heat than hot air being blown across you.
Right.
And we're able to keep the humidity level in the house higher because of that. If we were blowing hot, dry air through the house in the winter, it would be even drier than
Right.
it is here in the desert.
Yeah, exactly.
So in the summertime, we run cool water through the floor, and it acts as a heat sink. So what heat does is it goes from where it's warm to where it's cold. That's the nature of heat.
Right.
And if the floors are colder, the heat goes to the floors first, so it makes you feel cooler.
The other thing we do is we have very energy efficient appliances. That's very beautiful. The washer and dryer is energy efficient. The refrigerator, and we did a cool thing with the stove, because if you're just two of us, you don't need a huge oven. So
Right.
we have an oven that has a big, beautiful place that you can cook, and then has a little bitty part on the side when there's just the two of us.
Oh, great.
So you use less energy. It's
great.
all about thinking, just putting some thought into what your energy needs are and how you can best meet them while being nice to this whole planet.
Well, you all have done a brilliant job. Do you have any tips for the people at home on what they can do in their houses to live more sustainably?
Sure. Just first thing you do is you take a look at your energy bills, and you're going to see how do they look to you. If you're spending a lot for electricity, take a look at your lighting, take a look at some of your appliances and that sort of thing. If you're spending a lot for heating and cooling, take a look at your insulation and that sort of thing. Just look around. A lot of people could benefit from adding a little more insulation to the attic, for replacing their light bulbs with compact fluorescents.
We did that in our first home. We had an old home in Minneapolis, and we moved in, and it got to be winter, and so we ended up blowing insulation into the walls, into the attic, because they didn't have any. It was an old 1930s Tudor's house.
That's not that expensive to do
Not
either.
that expensive, and you're going to the money, especially with energy costs today. Anything
It's
you
true.
can do.
And there's one other thing to consider. Utility companies give you rebates for taking energy efficient steps. The EPA
That's great.
gives rebates, the states give rebates, energy companies give rebates.
Yeah, even if you're in your normal home and you're not building, sometimes appliances fail, sometimes you need a new one, then you have the choice
That's right.
to make a conscious choice.
That's
like
right.
what you're talking about.
And look for the Energy Star logo on it.
You guys don't waste a thing here. I mean, this is like efficiency 101.
Not a thing.
There's so much that we can do as consumers to make a difference on the planet. And does it cost more to do that? I mean, does it cost more to live in this beautiful, custom, environmentally friendly home and to buy environmentally friendly products? I mean, can't that get a little expensive, that kind of lifestyle?
The good news is no.
In
Really?
in our particular instance, we had a budget to build the house with. And I got bids from around 12 different builders. And the lowest bid I got for a conventional home with none of the advantages we have is what it cost us to build this house with everything. Solar panels, super
unbelievable.
insulation, everything.
Green just doesn't mean sustainability. It can mean saving money as well.
All
So
right,
we've got
I like
two
that.
greens that really make a good thing.
Well, no matter where you live and whatever your budget, there's plenty of things you can do to consume more consciously. Together, we can make a difference. We'll see you next time. Wardrobe provided by Autumn to Nail Designs. This episode of Conscious Living is carbon-free in partnership with carbonfund.org.